Hey everybody, it is Friday, March 25th, 2011, and this is episode 7.3. It's kind of arbitrary, that point number, but I like it. Daily mini podcast that I'm doing it to wrap up every day of my game design work. And set the timer, because I always forget to set the timer. Why I always forget, but I did. Okay. So, today I got off to a late start, so I didn't have as much time to work on stuff as I tried to set aside for myself. But I was working on the UI again, and basically I did pretty much the same thing I did yesterday, only for upgrades. So instead of player stats, like int, intelligence, strength, and that stuff, I did sword upgrade, bow upgrade, stuff like that. Just making the buttons. I don't think they actually do anything yet, because I didn't go into the code that I used previously to put that stuff together. And yeah, so let's take a look. All right, so here's the game worlds, or the game environments. Make that a little bigger. We hit play. You see on the left we have strength, intelligence, dexterity, and constitution. And on the right we have sword upgrade, bow upgrade, arrow, armor, and shield. And alright, so the ones on the left, the stats, they're dependent on how many training points the player has. The player gets training points by killing the enemies, which gives them experience points, which you see up here. And when they get enough experience points, they'll gain a level and get 1 training point. So if I can make it to 100, it shouldn't be too difficult at all. Shouldn't be difficult at all, really. I should get a training point. And likewise, the ones on the right, sword upgrade, bow upgrade, armor upgrade, arrow upgrade, and shield upgrade, they require gold, which is being shown at the moment right down here. So right now, each upgrade only costs 1 gold, and it's not really set up to be perfect game mechanic, just for testing purposes. And if we can get enough of each, okay, so we have 1 training point. So let's train dexterity, because that will make my guy move faster. And you can't really see that, but he is moving faster. And on the left we have gold, and right now we just click on it. We'll do bow. Just buy up all the bow. You can go up to 5. You can see down here it's 2 gold. If I try to click anymore, it doesn't go anymore. There is no feedback that says what you've done yet. Just buttons so that I can click them and make sure that what's supposed to happen is actually happening. I'll probably this weekend or the next day or so throw in some kind of feedback so that the player can see what upgrade level they have and what stat score they have. Alright, so that's it. That's basically all I got today. And I made a bunch of new button textures. I don't know why it does that, but whenever you're done the game, it disappears. I'm not sure why that happens, but alright, so I made a few more, 5 more Photoshop documents to make into these buttons. And I made, basically what I did was, still too loud. Okay, basically what I did was same thing I did with the stats. I created a stat prefab. Actually, I don't know if I did this yesterday or today, but there's upgrade buttons. Every there's the stat prefab. I made a upgrade prefab, which has all the buttons. Then each one has their own that's not it, controller. So this one's got button controller, but it should say stat button controller. And this one's got the upgrade button controller, which is basically just an empty object with a script in it. And here's a variable that says, what's the maximum for each stat, 5. Now the reason why I made 2 instead of just putting another button controller in there is because the script that I use is a little bit different. It's actually not different at all, except for some of these variables and method names. So here we have add sword as a method, and what this method does is add 1 to the sword variable in the player or the player's object variables script. So it just changes we go to the objects variables. You'll see each weapon or each piece of gear has an upgrade level, and all that this other script does, all that all the controller does, the controller script does, is it does the same thing that the stat script does. It sees if the player has some gold, sees if the stat is already at its max level, and if it's not, or if they have gold and it's not at the max level, they add 1 to the upgrade level and subtract 1 from gold. And then it just says, some error handling, says, hey, if the player doesn't have any gold, print out to the console you don't have any gold to spend. And if the player is at the look at that, the bug, that is wrong. Oh Jesus. Okay, what do we want? This should say melee weapon upgrade level. Okay, so if that's at the max level, then it sends out a line to the console that says, hey, 5, whatever stat max is, which is 5, is the highest upgrade level. I wonder if they did that in every single one. Looks like that's correct. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. Okay. All right, so that looks exactly like, hit save. That looks exactly like the one we looked at yesterday, which was this one. In fact, you'd probably be hard-pressed to see what the difference is, because there's not really much. This one just says add strength, and it has the strength and the training points in there instead of gold and the weapon upgrade level. So basically the same scripts. I just put them in 2 scripts. I would like to, at some point, make this a lot simpler. I would like to just have one of these guys do it for every single stat. And that way it wouldn't have so much repeat of the same code. And instead of trying to figure that out now, I just wanted to build it and make sure it works. I did multiple pieces of code that were exactly the same thing. Alright. And that's it. That's all we did for today. And that's all I have to show. Not a very productive day. But it's something. Instead, I did my taxes. And you see that huge pile of paper over there? Right there? That's all the crap that I pulled out of my filing cabinet today instead of working on the game. So, 2 or 3 hours of ripping through paperwork to do my taxes instead of doing my game. Thank you, U.S. government. Alright, that's it. Take it easy. Peace out.